What's up, everybody? This is Nick Gonzalez coming at you. I'm so happy to be here this Saturday. I got a lot to talk about with some really cool stuff. We've got the new wholesale formula that's out. And no, I wish I could take credit for this. No, I didn't create this wholesale formula. I have used something like this in the past for my own business. But this was something that was done by Jerry Norton, and I'm going to showcase on how this is game changing, and it truly is a game changing on wholesaling, and how this is not just a wholesaling formula, how you can really dissect those numbers to make it work for your JV deals, to make it work for with your lease options, and how I'm going to plug that into what I use for my own personal business, my own lease option calculator that has powerful tools in it. It's got the numbers that you need while you're negotiating with the sellers. So when you're looking at these numbers, you know exactly what you're doing with your lease option offer and where to negotiate with it. So let's go ahead and get into it. This is really cool stuff, guys. So having doing the wholesaling formula, right? We've all been there. When we get a wholesale deal, we're looking for comps. We're trying to look for you know um, ARVs, right? The perfect comping property, and comping is an art. If you guys have done anything with comping, or or barely into the real estate investing side of things, and you're trying to learn how to comp accurately, it's an art. It does take a lot of skill to know what a good property is that's comparable to your subject property. But what if you were able to make offers, throw them out like hotcakes, and make accurate offers without having to factor in any repairs or any comps? Yeah, no more comping, no more ARVs. You're just going to make quick initial offers. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to show you here in a second where I'm going to pull up an example property on Zillow, and you're going to be able to see that this is game changing on every level. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and I'll pull up the Zillow tab here in a second, and I'll show you the screen. I'm just going to get a property here, um, and we can demonstrate that for you. Hold on, let me just go here, and yeah, let's take. All right, so let me go ahead and share screens here. All right. So we've got this one here. I'm just randomly in Montgomery, Alabama. So let's just say for this property here, okay. Let's say for this one, we are going to take this property here. It's 278,000. Now this property looks to be in decent condition, right? It's not a heavy gut. There's nothing with that. Now, does it look dated? Probably is going to be dated inside. So it's going to be anywhere between light and average repair, right? Probably the bathrooms are going to need updating. They don't show the kitchen. So usually when they don't show the kitchen and or bathrooms, you're going to probably have a, average repair in here because you're going to have to do updating in the bathrooms and into the kitchen. So with this, what are we looking at? We're looking at a 278,000 asking price. The Zestimate doesn't have none. All right. So the Zestimate is kind of important into this calculator. So we'll go into a new property here and see if we can find something else. I don't know why that one doesn't have it, but let's say let's go with this one. This one looks like a good example. There you go. All right. So the inside of this one, okay, not bad. Probably light repair. You know, Bathrooms are kind of dated. You might want to fix the bathrooms, but everything else seems to be in pretty good shape, right? With this house, there's really nothing too bad with it. Some outside work and probably new paint and fix the stairs a little bit. So just some light repairs, right? So this one they're asking is 150,000, and the Zestimate is 146, right? So with this calculator, what you're going to do is take the sum. It's basically a sum calculator of three parts. You're going to have Zillow, Redfin, and Realtor. And the reason why that's important is because that's going to give you a basis, an overall basis of what the actual value of that property is. And where that's going to be huge is because you're going to know exactly what you're going to sit with it with your assignment fee, and how that property is going to be in comparison to everything else in the market. So when a seller is like, I'm asking, especially last year when people were asking $100,000 over asking, some crazy numbers, they never really paid attention to what the value of the property was. And as investors, and especially new people coming in, they felt like, okay, they're asking this, I got to give this. No, you don't. The more you know of the accurate value of the property, the better decisions you could make. And that goes into any strategy that you're doing. So we're going to take this property here, and I'm going to stop this share screen so I can share the calculator and show you what we're going to do with this information. Now, if I can't give you this calculator, this one, but my lease option one, I can give you out for free. We're going to get to that later in this video. But with Jerry Norton's calculator, you got to go to, I think it's freeoffercalculator.com, and you can get this. And if you haven't done so, I would recommend you do get it. It's free. I don't know how long it's going to be free, or it's going to be free forever. I'm not sure. But this is an extremely important and valuable tool. And I'm going to show you why. Okay. So we had on this property, we had the Zillow estimate was 146,400. So we're going to say 146. I'm just going to round it. So round it down, 146,000. Now I'm going to look this same address up on realtor.com. Right. I'm going to find what the value is on Redfin and Realtor. So the Redfin estimate is 168.5. So that one we're going to go ahead and put 169 on Redfin. So 169,000. Right. And let's see what realtor.com has. Okay. Realtor.com has this property valued at, significantly less. Is that the same property? Huh. Yeah, it's the same one. So they got it valued at 120. So we're going to put 120. Okay, and the square footage of the property was 1333. So we'll put that in there, 1333. All right. Okay, so the average, what it's saying here is the average value, the as-is value is going to be 145,000. That's the average sum of the three. So that's telling us that's basically the as-is values of this property. Now, Jerry has this broken down where you plug in those numbers and everything's kind of done for you already, which is freaking fantastic. You have, if it's under $150,000, you have a 60% exit. So the exit 60%. Now this is 87,000. That's what you would sell to a cash buyer. Your $20,000 assignment fee here shows all your assignments built in based on the exit percentage. And here's where you're buying it at. Your max buy is 46%, and 67,000 is your max cash offer. So where this is extremely valuable in talking with the seller is you kind of have all the information in front of you. Now, do you have to take a $20,000 assignment? No, you could take 10,000 and up your cash offer to 77,000 if you wanted to, and sell it for 87. So you can play with those numbers as you want. You could do a $20,000 assignment, or you can do a $15,000 assignment, a $10,000 assignment, or if you could do the deal and take a $5,000 assignment, that's up to you. But the numbers are there. And which is really cool is this works on any price bracket you can see. It goes up all the way to over $500,000. And those are custom things that you're going to have to put here. But anywhere between 400 and 500, that's where this calculator kind of sits. And it shows you all your profit margins and it breaks down the percentage. Now, where this is extremely powerful, guys, is that this required no ARVs or comps. I'm not looking at any comparables. I'm not looking at any ARVs. I'm not trying to get 5 or 6 comparable properties, do all the calculations, and then make my offer. as I'm talking to the seller. So if you're, using our system, Swift REI, and you send out a text blast to, um, whether it's a Zillow Fisbo or an off-market property, or even an agent on market property that we have those built-in campaigns. If you send out any of those text blasts and they're asking, so what is your offer? You can instantly put this in a calculator, know that if you're going to shoot a cash offer, that this is your quick cash offer and this is what you're willing to do. You know your max, you know your what you're going to sell it at. Now, there's so many other factors that go into it, right? Would I recommend doing this in a population of 5,000 people? Absolutely not. I would not do that. Uh, I would say stick to populations that are at least 100,000 minimum for cash offers. If you start doing cash offers on everything willy nilly, that's in populations that are not going to be where a lot of activity is. There's no flippers. There's no, there's no flipping activity or even small, light, average repairs or any landlords. It's going to be very hard to sell that cash deal to any cash buyer. So I would not recommend doing anything with that within those small population frames. So let's look at it from a different perspective. Let's say that we have a property that's 2,500 square feet. All right, and let's say the property value of this one is 245,000 on Zillow, and then let's say it's 238 on Realtor.com. And then let's say on Redfin, it's 242. All right. So now we're looking at some very different numbers, right? So this is telling me now on this particular property that the average sales price is 241, or the average value of this property is 241,667. Now I'm going to look at that and say this property is valued at 242,000. I'm just going to round it up. So where does this put us in this calculator again? So in this calculator, we're going to look at the price bracket. So we're over 200,000, right? So between 200 and 300,000. So the exit price is going to be at 70% is what we're going to sell to a cash buyer. So that's 25,000 assignment fee. So at this point, if I'm talking to the seller or if I'm talking to an agent on market if it's on market and I'm talking to an agent or if it's just to an off market seller, my cash price is going to be $144,000. That's it. Now, again, you can play with these numbers. Just because Jerry says 25,000 doesn't mean you have to take the $25,000 assignment fee. You can take 10, which increases your max buy, but you're still going to sell at 169,000 to your cash buyer. Now, what this is doing and where Jerry built this calculator around was based on data and metrics. And I love people who know me know I love data and metrics. In population areas that when he's doing his deals, and like I said, if it's a minimum population of 100,000 people, this was the metrics that it was showing. He could sell these deals at this price point. This is where that calculator came from. So imagine being able to send out your text blast, and you've got within Swift REI, and you're qualifying your leads with our Swift keys, and you've got 7 or 8 in your hots already that are asking for offers. You can throw out 7 offers on a whim if they're all just quick cash offers. Or once you get on the phone and call them, you've got offers right off the bat that you can make on their property for cash without having to look up any comps, any ARVs, and factor in any level of repair. It's awesome. And I used to do this all the time with my JV deals. I used to kind of reverse engineer it. So how you can use this for JV deals. Now, if you're doing it with JV wholesaling, right? I know probably most of you who are out there who are doing JV wholesaling, you get on the buyers list, right? Of all these different wholesalers that are out there. Then you meet, you network, and they start sending you their deals in your email account. So now you have an email inbox of like all these different deals, right, coming to your inbox. Now, where this is huge is now you can quickly qualify what are the actual deals from a JV wholesaler and which ones are not. So meaning if this wholesaler said, okay, hey, we're asking we're asking 175,000 asking price, or 190,000 is our sales price, and you put this metrics in there, You take the same address of the property, and like if you're going to put it under contract and make an offer, right? You take the same address of the property and you find your Zillow, Realtor, and your Redfin estimates, and it's going to give you the average, and then it's going to spit out what you could actually sell that for. And if they're over this price point, it's not a deal, and it's not worth your time to try to go get that under a JV contract. So to try to move that deal to your buyers, because you're not going to be able to move it. That's huge, and it's extremely valuable, because there's so many times where, even when I first started out, I was going out getting out JV deals because a wholesaler that I've done a deal with in the past, um, sent me some other stuff, and I was trying to sell them out to my buyers, but not quickly realizing that, hey, that's not really a deal. I just trusted them that, hey, we've done a couple deals before already, so I trust your data and your numbers, and that I can move it. And then when I started really looking, I was like, wait a minute, that's not a deal. And here's why: the numbers don't match out. I know what my buyers buy, I know what they're buying at. Why don't I just reverse engineer this and make sure I can qualify this JV wholesaler on all the deals that they send me? And then what that was helpful was, now I decluttered the JV wholesalers that I was working with that were sending me a bunch of just bad deals. And I was just like, hey, I'm not interested in any of those. I'm looking, this is my numbers, and I'm sticking to my numbers. If you don't have any of those, then I can help you sell those. You get me stuff that I can move, and then I can move those for you. And that made my life so much easier, because when they started sending me deals again, they knew what my numbers were, almost kind of treating me as the actual buyer, and I was able to move those deals fairly quick. Into one of them where I did in less than 24 hours. He sent me a deal. I was able to move it, got it straight to my buyer. The buyer went to go look at the property. Told me at the end of the day he wanted it. They were already going to title and close the very next day, which was awesome. So that was all part of it. And I wish I would have built this calculator before Jerry did, but I think Jerry did a very excellent job with this calculator. And of course, Jerry is a freaking flipping genius. And he does a lot for the real estate community. So I'm really glad that he has this out for free. So I can't give this one to you. You would have to go to, I believe it's, like I said, it's freeoffercalculator.com. So you'd have to go get that calculator there from Jerry. But it's also cool, when you get this calculator, you can do an ARV formula, the traditional sense, and put the cost of repairs. And you can do it with comping properties. You can get 5 comps that you want, and you can put in there in this bottom calculator. So it's really 3 calculators in one. But really, this one is game changing. The as is formula calculator. This is huge, guys. Now, if you were to get this and combine this with my free lease options calculator that I'm going to give you here in a second, now you're in the money. Because not only can you make a hard, quick, nice, instant cash offer, now if they're like, you know what, I'm not into that cash offer, that's way too low, I need something better than that, then now you can really give them a really, really good lease option offer, and have the numbers within this calculator to help you negotiate your deal. And you can get that for free. I'm not charging for it. I'm giving that away for free. And I'm going to go over that here in a second. So this is a free 100% lease option calculator that I'm going to do here in a second. And this is going to be huge. I use this for my business on how I negotiate with sellers for lease option deals. When I send out my FSBO text blast, my Zillow FSBOs, I love texting Zillow FSBOs, and I load them up into my system, Swift REI, and I send them a text blast. And I'm negotiating with my sellers about a lease option deal. I'm doing it based on these numbers. And how these numbers help me get to the negotiation point is huge. And it's powerful, because what this is going to do, you're going to know exactly where to go. And it's almost like objection handling within the numbers. It's awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that. And let me go ahead and share the screen here. Okay. All right. So here is the Swift REI lease option calculator. So let's say, for example, we were looking at Jerry's calculator here a moment ago, and for the property we had the example property, we had 246,000 was the as is value, right, of the property. So what we're going to do is say we're going to put 246,000 as the as is value. Okay. Now let's say this rent was 1,300 a month, right? Let's say the rent estimate was 1,300. Now, notice these numbers are changing. Now, where this is huge is a lot of people in lease options, they don't know, well, what's my sales price? How much can I add on top of it? Well, I want 30,000 or I want $10,000. I'm just going to add $10,000 to whatever I get it for. That's not how you're going to do it. And there's a number of things that you need to understand about lease options. Keep in mind that when you're doing lease option deals, that you're still, yes, you're going to want a fee. We're all in this business to make money, but we're not in this business to take advantage of sellers and or tenant buyers or any people that we are putting into the properties. That's not what we're doing. So where this has a 4% LO increase is a 4% lease option increase. Now that's a loan that's typical on the lease option deal that you can increase on the sales price that you get it for. So if you contract it at 246,000, you can increase that with a 4% lease option increase. So that's where this is where the down payment money is coming from. So, and then that's your sales price on a lease option sales price, 255,000. So you can even round that up to 256. Now, the reason why I keep it at 4% is because if you go anything past that, usually when they go to qualify for the loans, the banks are going to have to qualify them for the loan at the end of the term if they choose to elect their right to purchase the property on the lease to purchase. Now, if it's anything over than that, it's like what they consider jumbo loans. The banks are going to say, "Hey, this isn't right. We're not going to approve this. This doesn't map out." So when that happens, you're going to put the tenant buyer in a really bad spot. And you're also going to put the seller in a very bad spot. What happens if they've already moved? If they were banking on this money from a house that they just bought, and now things are falling apart, and you set it up to where it wasn't going to be successful. So setting it up the right way and the fair way, the just way, is going to yield better results for everybody. Whether they elect to get the property or not, it's going to be a better thing that you do that in the long run. But so I'm going to break down these numbers here and where this calculator can be extremely powerful with the negotiations. Because it's all in the numbers, powerful numbers to use in your negotiations with this calculator. So if the value of the property is 246,000 in lease options, we don't pay more than well, we can pay more. That's the selling point, right? But we pay more in a lot of other ways, where this calculator is going to explain this. So let's say I'm negotiating with the seller. It said, okay, hey, you're asking 256. I know that your property is worth 246,000. Here's what I'm willing to do. I'm willing to do 246,000. That I can pay you a fair market rent at 1,300 per month. Okay. Now, how would that sound? Now, I don't know. That's not enough for me. That isn't. Then now you can tell them, if it's a 12-month term, that they're going to be getting a total of $15,600 in 12 months from rent. And that's going to net them $271,440. So they can just round that down. It's probably going to net you about $271,000, right? And then when you start telling them, wait, how are you paying me $246 for my property, but you're going to net me $271? And usually when I say that number, I'm going to net you this, they're like antlers or antennas. They're like, they start listening. So at this point, now you're being able to tell them, well, yeah, I'm going to be able to pay you the fair market rent at 1,300, which is going to equate to this total amount on the total rent payments. So which will net you this amount total at the end of the 12-month term. But you're probably not wanting to do that, right? You're probably just wanting to take the 252 today. No, I think we can. You know what? I think we can wait. And it's like at that point, now the wheels start turning, right? So this is really, really powerful stuff, because what happens if they can wait and you get them on a 24-month, a 2-year lease option deal? Look how much money they're going to make in 2 years on the rent payment of 1,300. It's $31,000 in 2 years. And what does that net to? $287,000. So when they're wanting 252,000 for their property, you're going to net them 287 if they have the time to wait. Now, this is huge. It's all in the numbers. It's a powerful negotiation tool. And I use this all the time in my lease option deals. So now you have, if you get Jerry's free calculator, and now if you get my free calculator that I'm going to give you here with this lease option calculator, you have some powerful exit strategies within your lease option repertoire. You have your cash offer, and then you have your lease option offer. And you can tell those to the seller, and you can even write those offers out in an email, or however you want to do it, your follow-ups, however you want to do it. You have some very powerful numbers to play with. Because now if you were to send the seller a lease option proposal, which we have proposals built in Swift REI, if you were to send this in your proposal that I'm going to pay you $246,000 for your property. We're going to do a fair market rent at $1,300, which will equate to $15,000, a little over $15,000 in total rent for the 12 months, which will net you a total of $271,000. Please let me know if you're interested, and we can go ahead and get started on this today. Or call me at your earliest convenience, and then put them through a follow-up system, which we already have built in Swift REI. So if you were to use this is huge. So if they don't like the cash offer, like, no, I don't like that cash offer. Okay, great. Well, what about a lease option offer? How about that? How about we do something where I can get you way more money, probably a lot closer to your asking price, and I can net you more if you're willing to hold off for about 12 months, if that's something that you can do, or maybe not. Right? So that is huge, guys. So getting Jerry's free calculator and getting the as is value, plugging that as is value right here for the home value, and being able to now take other information that Zillow gives you. What is the Zillow rent estimate? Put that number in here. And that's the only two numbers you got to input. And this whole calculator will spit out your lease option offer in a heartbeat. So now you know exactly what you're going to offer to the seller, and you know exactly what you're going to sell to the tenant buyer. That is huge. That's huge. And then what the seller is going to net over a 12-month period and into a 24-month period. It's big, guys. So you can get this calculator here at www.leaseoptioncalculator.swiftrei.io. I know it's a long URL. If you don't want to type that or type that into your web browser, it's going to be in the description boxes in the various posting that you're watching it. So if you're on YouTube, it's going to be in the description below, and all the various social outlets that this is streaming to, it should be in the description below as well. But if you want to go ahead and type it, it's leaseoptioncalculator.swiftrei.io, and you can get this calculator absolutely for free. And I hope that it brings you some awesome success with that. That you can use for your negotiations with lease options. Now, that's pretty much the gist of what I wanted to cover today with everybody, and show you guys the powerful tools of these calculators. With Jerry Norton coming out with the quick offer, cash offer calculator, which I think is just awesome. It's game changing, really is. You can make quick cash offers on a whim, and then now being able to make quick lease option offers and really accurate lease option offers on a whim as well with my free calculator that I'm providing you here is just awesome. So again, that calculator is going to be at leaseoptioncalculator.swiftrei.io, and go ahead and get that. It's absolutely free. And if you have any questions on lease options or anything like that, feel free to hit me up, or how I'm using it with Swift REI within my own campaigns when I'm selling, when I'm with my text blast, because I'm using both these things on FSBOs, and I got to tell you guys, it's been working out pretty nice. I give them a cash offer that's higher than most. And then I'm using my lease option calculator to kind of wrap up my deals and get my contract signed with those sellers. So I hope that helps you guys. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope everyone has a blessed Saturday, and I will see you on the next one.